Welcome to Webcertain TV. I'm joined today by Simon Tutton, founder of Thefullworks, which is an e-commerce platform helping businesses to develop an e-commerce presence and move into new markets. Hi Simon.
Hi there.
Thank you for joining us today.
It's okay. Thank you for inviting me.
Pleasure. So we wanted to talk a little bit about cross-border e-commerce and the opportunities available. So firstly, why is it so important now for businesses to be looking internationally with their business?
Well, I think businesses really have to keep evolving. Basically, in the UK, it's fantastic to have your own kind of internet presence, but really it's so easy to be able to kind of sell cross-border. Obviously, it's being led by the big blue chip companies, the John Lewis's, ASOS. They're all part of this kind of wider community, and it's no longer a question on which country. It's more like a region. So if you want to sell into Europe, it's actually fairly straightforward to do. If you want to sell into the Middle East, obviously China, and also the birth of kind of more marketplaces as well. It enables people to start looking at cross-border trade. Obviously, the more you evolve, the more you increase your exposure. Hopefully, the more profitable and the bigger you become.
Yeah, of course. And, there's a lot of statistics just pointing to the fact that cross-border trade really is rapidly growing at the moment. And what do you think are the reasons why this is suddenly kind of booming more, and what is it that motivates people to want to buy from other markets?
I think there's various reasons why it's starting to increase or kind of double, triple in certain countries and regions. One is, I think, just the access to things like smartphones. A lot more people are actually buying products on their phones and their tablets.
Yeah.
The cost of these items are coming down, therefore it's easier to get online and actually buy. I think the presence of, say, even Amazon kind of leading the field and going into kind of France and Germany, and obviously now a bigger presence in China through Tmall. Yeah. So all these things enables the growth of, or the awareness of being able to sell cross-border.
And of course, you're talking about these different regions, and there are many options, and obviously different sectors and different companies will have better opportunities in different places. So if you're a business thinking, right, we want to start testing the water a bit, how do you determine which market will probably offer the best option for you?
Well, definitely, obviously research is key, and knowledge. A lot of people kind of think of barriers to trade and thinking, well, how am I going to actually sell and send this item across border? And through your research, there's a great kind of site which is free to use called intrasend.org, and that gives you 4 very key kind of marketplace data feeds basically on every single product over the last, say, 20 years or so in different countries, different regions, which enables you to actually look at a particular item and see if that trend is increasing in that particular location or not. So by looking at the data, you can see which market's going to work for your particular product.
Okay. And then you've got the step you think, right, we're going to get into that market, but you don't have a presence there. You're not known. Your brand isn't well known, and there's probably competition there as well. So what are the best steps to take in order to kind of start to build that reputation and build a relationship with a customer base? Well,
certainly if you're kind of selling from the UK, you already have a good reputation to a certain degree in the wider world. One, because obviously the product is deemed to be fantastic as regards to safety standards. It's been tested, good legislation. The UK obviously is a major kind of creative hub as well, so therefore the digital age is across the world as far as how good the kind of UK is, and so it's kind of inherent that UK product has a good kind of safety and quality product, a good reputation. Obviously, to kind of continue to enhance that, you need to set your kind of your e-commerce website up so that it gives the purchaser confidence. So they're going to want to see all the costs on checkout, for instance, are correct. Yeah. Any duty payments and things are exactly what they're going to have to pay. When it's going to be delivered, can they actually return their goods? And all these things have to be considered. By doing that, you can build your reputation. I think if you're first putting your toe into the water as regards to cross-border, it's good to look at Amazon, look at, say, because it's so easy to be able to you click a switch, and you're now selling in France, you're now selling in Germany.
Yeah. You can test your products without having to invest in actually.
That's right. Yes. Obviously, you still have to kind of change the language. Obviously, they won't translate your product details for you. Yeah. So you still have to overcome that mark. But it does now allow you to open a huge marketplace by a click of a button. In the same way with your research, obviously France, for instance, you've got Rakuten as a marketplace. You've got to see which marketplace are working in which country. Yeah. So if it's going to be Russia, you'll probably look at something like Otto or a similar type of a system there. And obviously China, you've got Tmall again. So it's doing your research. Yeah,
and making sure that you're teaming up with or having a presence on those sites that people already know and trust.
Exactly, that's right.
And of course, with e-commerce, you can have a very experience with the customer. Obviously, you don't speak to them; they just buy from your website, and there's no really communication. But of course, they're buying something from you, and that physical product has to get there. So,
Yes.
what are the kind of main logistical mistakes that people make? When they start going from an e-commerce.
Well, again, it's giving information to the consumer. You need to make sure, again, that there's ability to return the item, so that if they're not happy with the product, they can return it. And obviously the cost of that, the implication of actually returning the item. There are many systems out there which now allow you to return your item just by a tracking barcode. They can then drop it off, get it collected. Sometimes the consumer will have to pay for that return, or you can take a view that you'll actually accept that free of charge, depending on the profit margin in your particular product.
Yeah.
You also have to look at your checkout again as regards to the duty payments, making sure that you're very clear and concise on your website to make sure that all the costings are clearly kind of mapped out.
Yeah.
In the same way as well, to kind of build that assistance with your purchasers, you want to make sure that you can offer all the other delivery options. So you want to make sure that you can do a 24-hour service, or if it's going to Australia, they're kind of expecting it's going to take 7 to 14 days.
Yeah.
So all these things, you've got to look at your market, what's the expectation, and offer those services to your marketplace.
Yeah, and I guess the key is, like you said, being transparent, making sure that information's all there, and that you're not
Absolutely.
promising something that you're not going to be able to
Exactly.
deliver.
I mean, one of the things which is quite useful, it's so easy to create even live chat. Depends on, obviously, your working hours, obviously, with some of the time differences.
Yeah.
But you can actually just plug in a live chat straight onto your website, and therefore you're always there to be able to answer any queries and things which kind of come through. Now, obviously, again, on the translations, where you can pick your marketplace, so maybe Australia or English kind of speaking, if you're not comfortable with the translation side. But again, it does give you that opportunity to build faith with your clients by offering that kind of face to your product.
Yeah, and making sure that if they do have a problem, they're not ignored or don't feel that
That's
you're
right.
not paying attention to
Exactly.
them. And of course, like anything, when you're kind of dealing with different countries, there's kind of legal factors and there's different regulations. What is the best way to make sure that you are complying with those and that you're not going to end up?
Well, I think it's often very useful to, especially if you're just starting out, you've got to be aware of things like the distance selling regulations, obviously with the VAT. But there's so much information out there on websites, etc., which is kind of free of charge to give you what those thresholds are. In the same way as well with your system, if you've got an online platform, you should have some form of ability to work out how much you're selling into that particular region, and therefore you can just make a marker as to when you then have to kind of comply with certain regulations. There are some great companies who have an automated system which you can kind of plug into your website, and that will deal with all those kind of legal compliance issues for you. And I think if you're just starting out, it's probably better to outsource it. Otherwise, you could get yourself kind of caught up in a lot of issues. I mean, VAT, for instance, if you don't adhere to the rules now, then as a director, obviously you're personally liable for those payments. So it could be a very expensive mistake. Yeah,
so it's not worth thinking, this could cost a little bit in the initial startup, so we won't bother. It's really worth that investment.
Do set it up from the outset. I'd advise, yeah.
So what would be your kind of couple of really top tips for a business who is, now looking at the option, thinking they might going international? What should they do?
Again, it comes back to the research. Obviously, they need to look at the markets which they're comfortable in selling in. I think they need to, through that research, to be able to see if their product's currently on sale there.
Yeah.
They need to look at if it's outside of the EU, what kind of duty payments will occur for those particular products, because some countries want to protect their industry.
Yeah.
And therefore, as a result, it pushes your offering up, especially when you're including things like delivery costs, etc. as well. So you need to make sure you're going to be competitive into that particular marketplace. But then really there's nothing stopping you from delivering goods into these regions, as long as your item isn't something which is on a banned list, for instance, as far as hazardous goods, etc. But by doing that research, there's nothing stopping companies from creating their website and selling globally. There really is no reason why not.
Okay, sounds like a lot of good opportunities.
Absolutely right.
Great, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Great.